Today, we're taking a journey into the world of genetically modified foods, a subject that affects each and every one of us, whether we realize it or not. We're going to explore the groundbreaking book, Seeds of Deception, Exposing Industry and Government Lies About the Safety of the Genetically Engineered Foods You're Eating by Jeffrey M. Smith, a work that has been described as a wake-up call for anyone who cares about their health, the environment, and the future of our food supply. Let's start with a question. How much do you really know about the food you're eating? According to Seeds of Deception, the answer might shock you. The book opens with a powerful foreword by Francis Moore Lappé, who draws a direct line between the genetic manipulation of seeds and the erosion of democracy. Think about it. None of us asked for GMOs. No one voted for this technology. Yet, here we are, consuming genetically modified foods without our knowledge or consent. Lappé argues that this is a symptom of our silencing, a result of corporations like Monsanto using their wealth and influence to push their agenda without any meaningful public input. Surveys show that Americans are uneasy about corporate power in government, but this unease is often vague and unfocused. Seeds of Deception aims to change that by providing the dramatic insider details we need to understand the full extent of the problem. Smith reveals how a handful of corporations, led by Monsanto, have used their enormous wealth, intimidation tactics, and deception to turn Americans into nutritional guinea pigs. We've been forced to consume staple foods that have been virtually untested for their effects on our health. The book exposes the master plan crafted by these corporations to control the world's food supply, with Monsanto at the forefront, capturing 91% of the GM food market. The author describes how these companies have influenced government policies, promoting GM foods worldwide and rushing them into the marketplace before any real resistance could form. The goal? To flood the market so completely that consumers would have no choice but to accept these foods. But the world is pushing back. U.S. exports of GM corn and soy are down, and even hungry African nations are refusing to accept these crops as food aid. Now, let's talk about the science. Seeds of Deception presents a compelling case against GMOs, drawing on a wide range of sources to outline the health dangers these foods pose. The book reveals how companies have disregarded scientific evidence and denied consumers critical information. For example, did you know that most of the foods in your local grocery store are now contaminated with GM ingredients without your knowledge or consent? The author describes how GM foods are the result of splicing genes from one species into the DNA of another, a technology fraught with unknown and possibly disastrous consequences. The book highlights the story of Arpad Pusztai, a scientist who conducted groundbreaking research on GM potatoes. His findings were alarming. Rats fed these potatoes suffered from damaged immune systems, organ damage, and other serious health effects. But when Pusztai tried to warn the public, he was silenced and his research was discredited. The book also delves into the political backlash against those who dare to question the safety of GM foods. Pusztai's story is a chilling example of how the biotech industry and its allies in government work to suppress dissenting voices. After his research was leaked to the media, Pusztai was suspended, his data confiscated, and his reputation destroyed. But the truth eventually came out, thanks to the efforts of independent scientists and the persistence of Pusztai and his wife. The book also exposes the cozy relationship between the biotech industry and government officials. For instance, it reveals that Monsanto had given the Rowett Institute, where Pusztai worked, a substantial sum of money before the controversy erupted. This raises serious questions about the independence of scientific research and the integrity of the regulatory process. The health risks of GM foods are a central theme of the book. Pusztai's research is just one of many studies that have raised red flags. The book discusses how GM foods can lead to unexpected toxins, allergens, and other harmful substances. For example, It describes how a genetically engineered soybean designed to be more nutritious for animals ended up containing a protein from Brazil nuts that was a known allergen. This study was one of the few ever to directly test the potential harm of a GM food. The book also highlights the story of the Starlink corn incident, where a GM corn variety not approved for human consumption ended up in the food supply, causing widespread allergic reactions. The FDA's handling of the situation was heavily criticized, with many questioning the agency's ability to protect public health. Beyond the health risks, Seeds of Deception explores the broader implications of GM foods. It discusses how genetic engineering can lead to genetic instability, gene silencing, and other unpredictable effects. The book also examines the environmental impact of GM crops, including the potential for cross-pollination and the loss of biodiversity. The author argues that the biotech industry's claims about feeding the world are based on propaganda, not science. He points out that the world already produces more than enough food to feed everyone, and that the real causes of hunger are poverty, inequality, and lack of access to resources. So, what can we do? Seeds of Deception is not just a book about the problems, it's also a call to action. The author provides practical advice on how to avoid GM foods and how to advocate for change. He encourages readers to support organic and non-GMO products, to demand labeling of GM foods, and to contact their elected officials to express their concerns. The book also emphasizes the power of knowledge. By educating ourselves and others, we can create a groundswell of public pressure that can force corporations and governments to change course. The author believes that informed consumers are the key to transforming the food system and ensuring a safer, healthier future for all. In conclusion, Seeds of Deception is a powerful and eye-opening book that challenges everything we thought we knew about the safety of the food we eat. It's a wake-up call that we ignore at our peril. As we wrap up this episode, I urge you to pick up a copy of the book, to share it with your friends and family, and to join the growing movement for a GM-free world. Thank you for tuning in to BrightLearn. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and let's work together to create a better, safer world for ourselves and future generations.
This has been a BrightLearn video from BrightLearn.ai on the book Seeds of Deception, Exposing Industry and Government, Lies About the Safety of the Genetically Engineered Foods You're Eating, by Jeffrey M. Smith. Visit BrightLearn.ai for more fascinating videos like this one, and visit naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage and breaking news on critical stories that keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.